Hey everybody, I'm excited to talk to you all about sunshine today and that incredible vitamin D that we so desperately need. So I'm kind of talking about sunshine in two different camps. I'm going to talk about sunshine in light of morning and evening light and the benefits of that for circadian rhythm, and then the benefits of vitamin D and sun absorption through the skin to actually create that vitamin D. So sunlight in the morning, just really briefly, I'm sure that you've read research on this or you've at least heard through the grapevine that morning sunlight to your naked eye, I mentioned this in another video, like to not wear your contacts if possible, or even your glasses if you go on a morning walk, or if you grab a coffee and just go stand outside and look at the horizon, not directly in the sun. That is so helpful if you have sleep issues, if you're having a hard time falling asleep or especially staying asleep. So that morning light. And then it's also helpful to get a little bit of evening sunlight, again, looking at the horizon and not directly at the sun. That just sets the brain's chemistry for morning and evening and helps your body recognize. I mean, back in the day, people would wake when the daylight came and they would go to bed at night. And so back in the olden times, I don't know exactly even what time frame to address here, but they would sleep, like 10, 11 hours a night. And that's just because their bodies were naturally set to the rhythm of the sun. Today, we don't have that. We have so much artificial light that could give me on a bunny trail about blue light in the evening, making sure that your phones are set to either a grayscale or nighttime mode. There's extreme measures you could take depending on how serious you want to get about, blue blocking glasses at night, or those Dave Asprey, who's kind of known as the father of biohacking. He sells a line of sunglasses that they're not even sunglasses. They're like these orange glasses that block out all the light to help you sleep better. I think that's a little much. I just try to be mindful of how much computer screens and phone screens I'm getting after like 7 p.m. But let's talk about vitamin D for a few minutes. So what is the benefit of vitamin D apart from, getting that morning sunlight to, set your circadian rhythm? Well, vitamin D is so helpful for our bodies because our muscular structure, our bone structure, our hormone health, especially our heart health, our mood, our immune system. Like anytime I'm really feeling like a cold coming on, I will totally go heavier on my vitamin D. You do have to be careful about going too heavy on a vitamin D because this is a fat soluble vitamin. It doesn't, like a lot of vitamins are water soluble, meaning that if you get too much, you just pee it out. That's why your urine might be like extra orange if you take too much B vitamin, for example, or vitamin C, but your fat soluble vitamins stay lodged in the body. And I remember last summer I had some blood work done and my doctor said, no more vitamin D. I need to detox you for vitamin D. You have way too much vitamin D. I was laying in the sun every day, or I was out there with my kids, and then I was taking my supplement, and I just had way too much. And so I had to allow my fat to flush that out. And so the only way to know exactly how much vitamin D you need is to truly have blood work done. They say that baseline vitamin D is 800 IUs, and that's just a baseline for most people. But you can find out exactly how much you should be taking, especially in the winter time. If you could have, because your winter need for vitamin D and your summer need would be two different needs because you're obviously in the sun. But here's a tip. If you don't want to take a supplement, you really don't need to. If you can get outside, they say 3 to 5 times a week at midday, and your arms and your legs are exposed for like 10 to 15 minutes, that will give your body enough time to make the vitamin D it needs. So therefore you don't have to supplement. Part of my rule of life is to be outdoors every single day in some capacity. So I try to be mindful of that midday sun because that's when UV is going to be higher. You're actually going to be able to absorb more UV light. There's all sorts of different vitamin D. There's vitamin D3, vitamin D2. And so I won't go into all of that here, but just know that the supplement choice that you get, if you get a well-rounded vitamin D supplement that has lots of different variety, you can also get it through your food. You know, milk is often fortified. There's a lot of fortified foods with vitamin D, but natural sources of vitamin D would be like certain fishes have vitamin D, certain mushrooms have vitamin D, egg yolks have vitamin D. And so you could research like what foods have vitamin D if you want to just kind of steer away from a lot of supplementation and just get it naturally. God gave us everything we need to get the vitamin D that we need. And it really does help with your mood in the wintertime. So Brent, my husband, struggles a little bit with winter blues. And so he's always really mindful to get the right amount of vitamin D supplementation. I get this from my functional health provider. And this is Designs for Health is the brand. If you want some suggestions on great brands that I would take, then I'm happy to post those below. But it is super important for not only your heart and your bones and your immune system, but just that feel good vitamin D that's going to make you a happier, healthier person overall. So I hope that that's helpful for you to understand a little bit more about the benefits of vitamin D and the importance of taking the right amount and not getting too toxic on vitamin D like I did last summer. And hopefully that'll help your mood and your health overall. Okay, have a good day. Bye.